guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're just gonna get a bunch of parts put back on the bike here. I got the choke cable to put on, I got the clutch cable to put on, and then we can get at this crankcase side. I've got the cover here, I got it all cleaned up, looks pretty good, so it goes on right there. I've got the gasket for it. It's 18-1208, and I'll get that put on. Also have the cover here for where the shifter is. That's got to be put on. And I have it here, just got it covered up here and stuff just to keep it clean. So yeah, it's all shined up, ready to go. That'll go in there. And then, yeah, we'll get started here and get that put on. Some Vaseline here that I just put on just to keep the gasket in place. A little dab will do ya, and just put it on this gasket around the edges of it just to hold it in there so it won't move around when you go to put it on. So just a little bit here and there. Get that put on. I have a lot here, so I'll have to get some more by the look of it. Okay, got the gasket on here, and I got the bolts here that I painted, so we'll get those put on. The longer ones go here, and then there's the 6 other ones that will get that set in place. Make sure your gaskets are lined up. Moving a little bit here, so keep them in line. Okay, we'll get that all ready to set in place. Just remember in here there's a little sleeve that's got to be pushed in to make sure these gears are lined up. So you want to make sure that's all intact, and there's a little gear and a bigger gear there, so I don't know if you can see that, but that's got to be all lined up so it's in sync. Get that slid on there, in place, and nope, I can't do that. I gotta get this other wire and that in the groove. Stand by. So they gotta go in that casing there, so I gotta get that stuck in place. If you can see here, right there is where the wire is coming out, and it goes into that. So once you got it in that groove, it goes underneath that bolt right there that fastens that and holds that the points part in. Get the gasket back on here and get that tightened up, and then those are the points right there. So we'll get that set in place and get it on. So guys, I got that on, got everything lined up, and that's where the longer screw goes there. And the other longer screw goes down here. And then all your other ones go on here. All those in, and then I'll tighten them up. And then we'll get these points, they go on here, and I've got a mark here where I lined it up from before. And they just bolt on in underneath here. So I'll show you that in a minute. So these are all 8mm bolts, and I'm sure there's a spec on torque. I'm not sure, but I can double check. But just know, get this on, snug it up. March, what is it, the 21st today? Something like that. We got a bit of snow yesterday again. I don't know if it'll ever go away, but it's sure going out like a lion, that's for sure. Okay, won't bore you with all that. I'll get that snugged up and then we'll continue on. Okay, so these are the points here. I'm going to line them up. I got a mark there and a mark there. and they go underneath these bolts here. So I'll see if I can get this one on first. The other one on the bottom I might have to take out. Look of it. It won't slide in there. So yeah, I'll take that out first. Okay, and I'll put that one underneath there. Put that nut in there. That started. It's 8mm as well. Do that in. I'll just leave them hand tight here, and then I can tighten them up once I get it in place where I want it. If you guys can see that. All right. Feel it slide in there. Just there's a couple little grooves in there that the plate itself slides into it, and then you can move this around where you want it. So I'm going to move that. That's pretty close there now. I don't know if you can see that. See here, I've marked it here and here. So I've got those all lined up. And then I can just tighten that up. So if you have to adjust your points and stuff, then you could just loosen these screws and you can move it either way for back and forth. So I'll get those exactly, and yeah, that's how that goes. And now I'll put the chrome cover over it and see what it looks like. So just to mention too, they got two set of points here because we have 4 cylinders and we have 2 coils. Each coil for each set of points, and if you have to adjust it, you get your screwdriver out, loosen these screws here off, and you can adjust it either way. So but I think that should be it. Ran fine before, so I'm just leaving it where it is. Guys, I just put Vaseline on the cover plate here, the chrome piece that goes over top of the ignition. Should have probably got a new gasket for this, but it's not for oil anyways. So let's see if I can get it in there and it'll stay. This makes it a little stickier and keeps it in the right spot. There, so that's on, and I'll get that put on there. Okay, I cleaned these screws up, but I've got some new ones ordered, and I'll probably end up taking them off and putting new ones on when they get here. They haven't come yet, so I'm just putting them on now. This first one started. I probably end up taking it off, and I got to paint this black in here. That's going to be kind of a bitchy job, but whatever. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, once I get the newer screws, it'll look a little better too. So they'll all be cleaned up a bit anyway, so nice and shiny. Gonna have to do some touch up right in here a little bit with some touch up paint. Just where the masking tape was, so I got a little bit of marks there. I gotta touch up. That's all right. That's not a big deal. So that's that. I'll get the battery. I got that kind of more or less glued in that rubber piece. It was kind of finicky yesterday, so I'm going to put that on. That'll slide right in there. I got the bolts painted. That's where that has to go, right in here. So we'll get that done, and then I'll put the other cover on there. Sorry with the camera work here, but I've got this cover plate here back on. Starter cover on there. This has been put on here the other day, so I'm just going to bolt this down. Yeah, we'll get this together here. Might have to freshen some paint up in the motor part here. That's the trouble with not taking the motor out, but I didn't want to do that. It's just way too much work for this bike to get all redone. Somebody's redone it. I think I just got to clean it up a bit. So this we'll get back on, and then we'll work away at the other side, maybe the shocks. Just cleaning this chrome piece up again. It was a little dirty, so I got my good old Wizard metal polish. Works really well. Shines all metal, fast cutting, high gloss protection. So You want to get some of that, grab some of that. Works great. So I just putting it around all over till it gets a little, see all the crap coming off of that? And then I'll just take my cloth and wipe it off. There you go. I can buff that up a little bit too if I want. Get a little more shinier. Keep rubbing it. There. Okay, so I got those pieces on, and I'm going to go to the other side and we'll put the stator chrome cover on that I have right here. It's just packaged up, so I'll get that put on. That's the baby there. I'll get that put on and then show you what that looks like. So I just putting this together here, so that's the stator. So down inside there, I'm just putting that piece back in there. There's 2 bolts to go in there. It lines up, and then there's bolts along the. I'll just show you here. There's a bolt that fits in here. There's 3 bolts that fit in here to keep the stator in. So you got to make sure they're all lined up, and yeah, we'll get that bolted in. Tighten that one up. The other screws here. This goes in there. And there goes my choo-choo train horn. Somebody's trying to get a hold of me. If you heard that. Those are 10mm bolts in there. Don't want to forget my gasket. That'll sit on there for now so I don't forget it. And I'll tighten this up. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. And then there's the screws here, guys, that just go in there. This has to sit down a little bit more, so I'll get that straightened around and then we'll get that put in. If you ever do one of these and put them in, I marked them as well here. So just make sure there's a little lip in the coil part here that will go over top of your washer will go over top of that little lip there, if you can see that. And make sure this is punched straight down so that it's even all the way around. I've got, I just used the rubber mallet, just make sure it's down far enough. You can tell on the edge here, see how this goes up a little bit, so it's not quite down on a couple of spots, but looks pretty even there now. So yeah, just make sure you do that, and just thought I'd bring that up. And then we just screw that down in here. They're long screws, and the other one goes there. And then we'll get this bad boy on. Put back on, back into place. I'm not still not happy with this turnout here. I might get that re-chromed, or I might try to rebuff it again. It seems like some deep gouges in there. You can see some marks in there still. I'm still not happy, so I might, it's not a big deal to take it off, but it's on there for now. In last episode, I took some parts to get chrome down there, the valve cover, and showed you that stuff. So I may, when I go pick that stuff up, I might get this side here, piece here re-chromed, and we'll stay tuned for that. We'll see what happens, and we'll continue on. Front forks, I keep calling them shocks, but I guess they're kind of like a shock. But anyways, I'm gonna put them on. I got some WD-40 down in this rubber part here for the signal light, and then I'll spray a bit of WD-40 on here just to get it up through that rubber piece. It's a bit of a challenge there to do that a little bit. So I've got the oil in there now, and we'll see how it slides up there. There she goes. Once you get the oil in it there. She's not too bad. Take a break there for a second and just bring that in a little closer. Right here. So I got to get it up to the spot where I had it marked up here. So it's got to be evened on the top. Work away at that. These are all loose. Just make sure everything's loose. It's more this thing here, I think, being a hindrance than anything. There she goes. So just bring that down and move it where I have to put it. We'll get those 3 pieces of 3 bolts here tightened up. I got to turn this because I got to remember I have the air hose that has to go on the top there. Goes from one side to the other. That's the air hose there. Cleaned it all up, and we'll get that where it's supposed to go. Guys, that's where I marked it, and I marked it right there on the spindle there as well. So I got it lined up, and then the hose part will go through underneath the key switch there to the other side. So I'll get those 3 tightened up, and then we're good to go. These up, it's a 6mm on the top. Here is a 10 on the bottom. For whatever reason, the nut's a 12. So I don't know why they do that, but they do it. So just to confuse you, I think. Anyways, we'll get this tightened up here. A torque spec on that too. So I'll do the bottom one here, and we'll move to the other side. Let's show you this side. I don't think you need to bore you for the other. Make sure everything's lined up. Sure that's on the right way. See your reflectors on there. So, and that's for your signal light. I can put that back on here. That'll go on there. Then we can get the headlight on, the other front fork. And what else? I've ordered a new master cylinder for the front brakes because that one looks like crap. And I don't think I can take it off and clean it up. You can see there gouges in it. Somebody's been working on it. They just did a shit paint job on it as well. So I ordered a new one. It should be here in a week or so. So hopefully that comes and we'll get that on. And then I can do the horns on the front, and the brake calipers, they've been redone. I just want to maybe paint those. I might have to bleed the brakes when they're done. Well, I'm going to have to probably. So yeah, so we're getting along here. We'll get the front tire back on. I've got checked the bearings on it. They seem fine. Clean those up, the rims and stuff up, and then we'll get that put back on. So when you're putting these forks on, just make sure that they're even at the bottom, and so that the tire goes on and everything fits properly. So just make sure you've got the same distance. Just measuring this here, just do it in underneath here. Make sure it's level, because you don't want to put the tire on and then it's not level again. So that's pretty well bang on there. See that? Sorry for the camera, I only have one hand. So that's bang on. And I can go ahead and I'll tighten the other side. Should be good. So I'm just putting the new choke cable on. I got the other one out. Wasn't too bad, but I'm finding this one is probably 6 or 7 inches longer. So I'm going to install it, and maybe I can reroute the cable where it will fit in there all right. I don't think the length is the big deal, I hope, but anyways, we'll give her a try. Just trying to put some stuff back on here that I got. You guys got the choke on. That's the new choke there. I rerouted it. It's a little longer than the other one, but it worked out all right. So I just, some tie wire there. Tie wired it here and another spot down there, and it worked out. It's see it down in there. It worked out pretty good. So just make sure you don't get any real kinks in it, or it's not going to pull up properly. So you can adjust it here. Right there is the adjustment, this top piece here. Underneath there's like a screw in there, not a screw, but a nut under that rubber thing, and you can loosen it off, and then you can pull this out. This is just the base part where you hook it on here and it holds it on there. So the looser that is, the easier this is to pull a little bit, but I think I got it there now. Show you here. So it just pulls out, and then you can just push it back in. Actually, I thought I was going to have an issue with it, but actually it worked out pretty good. Went in there a little finicky there with a couple of screwdrivers, and we got it. So I'm going to put this clutch cable on. Part number is 22870-ME1670670. I'm just going to take this other one off here. That's it there. Just put some tape on here, and it goes down into the clutch cover, which I have off. So I'll get this off here. New one put back on. So it's the two new cables I got. Throttle cable seems to be all right, so we're gonna leave that. Okay, so I got the clutch cable. Just measuring it, make sure it's the same length as the old one. So I got it routed up through here. I'll pull the other one out. That's the old one there. And then I got it out to here, which will go up into the clutch lever. So it looks like it's going to fit. And I'll just get it put back together. It's got to go in here. And then once I get the cover on, we'll get it hooked back up and adjusted. So that's the new clutch cable. There, I just cleaned the speedometer cable unit on the wheel here, front wheel up. And then I used some steel wool and made it pretty shiny here. So just cleaning up some stuff. That'll make it look a lot better, and I'll put a coat of wax on that later. And did around in here, cleaned that up a little bit. I'm gonna clean this tire up before I put it on, so I show you that. There you go. Just cleaning up. I got a little carried away here once I was cleaning this here. I went on to these ribs here. You can see I cleaned them up on both sides. They're a little crappy, so I used the zero steel wool, and you can see the crap there, and that's where we cleaned the other pieces, so it makes quite a difference. I just got that one more piece here to do, and then I'm done both sides, so that'll be it for this tire.